Hello, my name is Oscar Alvarez. I'm from the University of Texas at Arlington. I'm going to show you how to use the Liutex code produced by the Department of Mathematics here at the University of Texas at Arlington. So I have created a folder. You can put this folder anywhere you want to work. I just called it Liutex, and it's just an empty folder. Now I need to get the code. So I'm going to search UTA research git, and it should be near the top where it says UTA research, and it's the GitHub. You scroll down until you see Liutex OA. This is OA is Oscar Alvarez, that's me. So click on this repository, and I want to get the code. Now before I get the code and use the code, there's an agreement and notice of credit. So if you are using this code to do research, development, or a study, please reference and or cite the Liutex paper by Dr. Cha-Kun Liu. So in order to do this, there's an agreement in the Git, this PDF, and please sign and email that to me or Dr. Cha-Kun Liu before using this code. But once you've applied and submitted the application, we're going to HTTPS clone the code. So I'm going to go up here to the code, hit HTTPS, and I'm going to copy the clipboard. So now in my folder, right, the Liutex folder I made, this is where I want to work. In the search bar, I'm going to type in CMD and press enter. Now what this does is it opens the command prompt in the folder that you were in, the Explorer. So now I'm in this folder and I'm going to git clone. So you do need git, so git clone, and I'm going to paste the URL, press enter. And now you can see we have this Liutex _OA folder in our Liutex folder. Now I'm going to show you the C++ version of the code. So if I want to work with C++, I simply open the UTA folder and then I see Liutex C++. Now this contains two files, the liutex.h header file and the main CPP file. Now all you need for your use is the liutex.h header file. If we open this header file, you can see that the Liutex function, the entire Liutex function is in this this header file. So all you need is the header file, and the main.cpp is an example code that you can use for reference, so you know how to use the code in your own code. So this is just an example of how to use the function in the header file, the Liutex function. I'm going to go over it so you understand what's happening. So I'm just going to delete some things and so you can understand what's happening. So, well, I guess I can start a new. Well, okay. So, yeah, I'm going to start a new folder. So I'm going to create, let's say you're working on your own stuff. New, and this is your code.cpp. Okay, well, the first thing I need to do is include my header file. So I need to include liutex.h. I also, the liutex.h function deals with std vectors So the vector library from C++. So if you aren't using standard vectors, please be sure to change the type of the these input variables, the parameters here. So what I'm going to need is a standard library. So that's already. I need the vector library. I'm using this as a reference, the example code. And let's start into main. So let's say you have your code and you first have, oh, that is the wrong, what is it? It's like, so first thing you do is loop through your data, or your data points. So you're going to loop through your data points and their velocities. So you're looping through your data points and you're using their velocities, and you use their velocities to find use velocities to find the velocity gradient tensor for each data point. So you have a data point in 3D space. This is in 3D. And you're looping through all your points, and you're using the velocity to find the velocity gradient tensor for each data point. Now, let's say I did that, and I have a velocity gradient tensor, which is just a 3x3 matrix. And let's say that I have this vector. It's just a 3x3. By 3 vector, and this is my velocity gradient tensor. So this is my velocity gradient tensor. And now why do I have this velocity gradient tensor? Well, this particular velocity gradient tensor produces or it has complex eigenvalues. This is very important when we're looking at Liutex, because Liutex only exists if the velocity gradient tensor contains complex eigenvalues. So this one I know for a fact has complex eigenvalues, so we should receive a positive value for Liutex, a non-zero value for Liutex, sorry. So now I have my velocity gradient tensor. What I need now are my variables that are going to hold my variables that are going to hold the Liutex vector R and my the Liutex magnitude big R. So I'm going to call that Liutex magnitude and Liutex vector. All right. Now that I have my variables that are going to hold my values, I'm going to use my function. So I'm going to go to my function. And I'm going to paste it here. Now Liutex doesn't return anything. What it does is replace the values, replace the initiated values. So here is how you would run it. you would give it the velocity gradient tensor that you calculated, and it should spit out a Liutex magnitude, which is just a double, and it should also produce the Liutex vector R, the Liutex vector, which is a size 3 double vector. Then once that's done, you should have calculated Liutex. Now I have a print statement here. Where I can print the results from my notes here, and velocity tensor with complex eigenvalues, because that's what we have. Liutex magnitude R is going to be our Liutex magnitude R, and the Liutex vector R is I'm going to be looping through all of the values and printing them. Okay, so let's save this, and hopefully I did everything correctly. So there's my code, or your code, or whatever you want to do, and I'm already in the folder, so cd Liutex OA Liutex, wait, it's okay, and then text, C++, okay. All right, so here I am. So into compile C++ code, I'm going to be using G++. That's the compiler that I have, and I'm going to first compile the header file. So I'm going to compile my header file. That's going to be the liutex.h file. And I'm going to compile my your code, actually. So we get an error, so I'm gonna output now an executable file, so your code.o output to test liutex.exe. And now I'm gonna run test liutex.exe. And you can see that our velocity gradient tensor with complex eigenvalues has a Liutex magnitude of 4.61, and here's the vector, the Liutex vector for our data point. And that is how you use the C code, the C++ code with Liutex. And if you need more help, you can reference the main.cpp file that shows you how to use the Liutex header file. And that's it for this video. Thank you.